Laptop computer spins onto the screen, opens, and displays ATP Education Program webinar series, closes, and then spins off the screen.
Hello and welcome to our video on Chrome extensions to support executive functioning. This is part of our series of assistive technology supports and tools for executive functioning. Today we are going to jump into Chrome extensions. So we're going to start talking about a little more of a high-tech support. Many of our students are using Google Chrome and our school districts are as well. And so we are going to talk about some simple extensions that can be added to Google Chrome to help support students who struggle with executive functioning. Again, my name is Cassie Frost, and I'm an assistive technology specialist, behavior specialist, problem solver, collector of things that may come in handy, and a believer that everyone can learn. You can reach me via my Twitter handle here below, or using the contact information that will be on the last slide. We're going to do things a little bit different in this video. We are going to specifically look at some of these Chrome extensions here, but then we're going to actually move out of this slideshow and look at some of these extensions in action. So the first thing that I want to show you is this screen with these extensions on it. I'm doing this because this is a video, you can pause things here and actually write these down or go back and look at them if you would like. I know it's a lot of information on one screen, but since it is a video, you can use the magic of video to pause it and come here and look back at these. So here are 6 of the Chrome extensions we're going to look at today, and here are the other 6. As you can tell, this is a total of 12 extensions that we're going to look at in a short period of time. So I'm going to move through them rather quickly, but these are all free extensions, so you always definitely can download them on your account, try them out, and see if you like them or not. I will also always say with any of the technology that I am showing, each district has a little bit of a different routine as far as approving extensions or not. So do make sure that you are checking to make sure that these extensions are approved in a district if you work in a school district. Otherwise, definitely you can try them out on a personal account first to see if they are something of interest to you. As I say that, I am going to jump out of this slideshow and we're going to actually start looking at some of these extensions in action. If you are not super familiar with Chrome extensions are things that you can get from the Chrome Web Store. I simply usually search Chrome Web Store. There's other ways to get there. That one just works for me. You can search the title of the extension and then add it to your account. Once a Chrome extension is added to your account, the little icon for it will live here. Or if you're not seeing it here, any extra extensions or ones that are not pinned do get moved into this puzzle piece where you can look up and down here to find them. So let's get started. One of the first extensions that I always like to show is called Countdown. This extension looks like this little circle here. And when you click on it, it's pretty unassuming. It doesn't do anything super fancy, but what it does do is pretty powerful. This will give you a stopwatch type timer right on your screen. As you see, when I push play, all of a sudden the time starts counting up. I do think it's interesting that it's a countdown timer that counts up, but regardless, it's here. This is really great for a student who needs a quick visual on the passage of time. So for a student who maybe is practicing reading or doing a presentation out loud and they have to have it in a certain amount of time, or as a teacher to show students how long they've been working on something. This is without looking for a different device, without having to keep an eye on a clock, without having to get out cell phones or stopwatches. It is a built-in timer right on your screen. There are definitely a lot of features here you can click around and check out. A couple of the ones I like pointing out is that it can change color. A lot of students really like this. Also that you can add more than one. If you need to be timing different students or different tasks, you can have more than one timer going at a time. You also here can turn on or off any sounds that come with that alarm. And again, kind of change the volume of that alarm if you choose to put it on. There is a little question mark here that will tell you more about it, but as a standard rule, it's just a really good stopwatch that's built in to your screen if you add this extension. The second extension is kind of the opposite of this. This one's called One Click Timer, and this instead is going to actually be the countdown timer. So in previous videos, I know we talked about having some of those visuals for time management and for students who really need to visually see the passage of time. This is a really easy way to show a timer on your screen that you then can display in your class or for your students to use on their own devices. So if you tell students, perhaps we're going to read for 5 minutes, you can start here and it is going to show the passage of time. So it's going to show the countdown and it's going to show the clock slowly getting back down to 0. Now this clock will do a couple of things. One, there is an alarm. So at 0, the alarm will go off unless you turn this off. The other thing that I like about this one is if I close this, so if I click away from it, you can see up here on top, it still says 5 minutes. This is meaning the time is still counting down even if the clock isn't displayed on my screen. I will use this sometimes when I am teaching in a classroom just to kind of help keep myself honest and not go over. If I tell students we're going to do this activity for 5 minutes, it really helps me to have that timer go off at the end of that time. And again, for students who really are needing the visual, I have a few of them that will just watch this up here if they don't necessarily need the full clock. Once I click on it, you see that it does come back up with the remaining time. You certainly can also stop that timer or pause that timer if you need to. Okay, let's move on here to probably my all-time favorite extension. If you've ever watched me present anywhere, this is one of my favorite to show just because it's one that I use pretty much every day. So oftentimes teachers and students, but I like adding teachers do this too to this one. A lot of times students will struggle because they will have a lot of tabs open, or they will struggle with getting the tabs open that they need on their device. This can cause for a lot of frustration. It can take away a lot of time at the beginning of class. And if a student is maybe really interested in something, they may also not want to close a tab down because they're afraid they're going to lose it. As teachers, we do the same thing, right? If we have something we want to go back to, we kind of are hesitant about closing the tab because we're going to have to try to find it again. That's where Tab Snooze comes in handy. So Tab Snooze is this little moon up here. And when I click on it, it will bring up a menu asking me when I want to see this tab again. I can choose to see this tab later today, this evening, tomorrow, this weekend, next week, in a month, someday, repeatedly, or to pick a date. When I hover over this, it will show me at the bottom exactly when that time is, which is kind of nice for me to just kind of be aware when that tab is going to come back. But once I click on the button, and I'm not going to do that because I don't want the presentation to go away, the tab will simply close. It's going to go away, it's going to disappear, but it will come back at exactly the time that is shown on the bottom when I hover over each one of these. If you do need to get back to an extension earlier, or a tab earlier, you can always come down here where it says sleeping tabs and click on this, and it will give you a list of all of the tabs that you currently have sleeping so you can get back to them earlier. How does this help students with executive functioning deficits? If a student is struggling with remembering to open up or where to go to open up their online math textbook every day, you can simply help them to open up that tab or that web page. And you can actually go ahead and click repeatedly, and you could say that you want that tab to open up every day or weekly or monthly at the start of that class. So maybe that class starts at 9 o'clock. I can snooze it, and now every day at 9 o'clock, that tab will open up. So that means the student will have access to their online math textbook every day at 9 o'clock without them ever having to search for it, look for it, try to find it, get logged in, all of those things. So Tab Snooze is a super powerful tool. It's also really good if you have a student who has a project coming up. You can have them pick a date and it will come up to remind them. Now, this big red thing just popped up on my screen, and I intentionally let this happen in the middle of the presentation because this is an extension we're going to talk about, and I figured it would kind of randomly show up here. This is an extension called Move It. And if you look up here, you can see the little red circle that's showing this is the extensions icon, Move It. What Move It does is allows you, I'm going to click on it here. When you click on it, this little box comes up. You can pick how often you want to have an exercise interval, every 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and so on up to an hour. When it is enabled, like this one is, every 10 minutes, this screen is going to pop up with an exercise here for me to do. What that does is remind students who need those movement breaks to take them. So this is reminding me that right now I should jog on the spot for 15 seconds. They're typically pretty short. They may be jumping jacks. There's going to be different activities. They're going to be very short, but they want you again to be reminded to move. When you click done, it will simply go away and will come back again in another 10 minutes because that's the interval that I have set. Again, you can set it as long as an hour, and that one is Move It. As we are moving through our extensions, there's also an extension called Time Warp. Time Warp will manage how long you are on a website simply by right-clicking on it and going to Options. You can set up what they call wormholes by clicking on New Wormhole and say you want to avoid this site and instead you want it to take you to that site. So for example, I have one set up for Facebook that will take me directly from Facebook to PBS. And I have one set up for YouTube that will give me the quote, "Get back to work." This one I've also set a timer saying that I can be on this site for 10 minutes a day. Now, this isn't something that you can force on a student because it's pretty easy to turn on and off. So for example, right now Time Warp is off. When I click on it, it's on and active, and again, it turns off. So this isn't something that you can force on a student, but it is something to help students learn how to manage their time better. So for example, I have students who like listening to music on YouTube or doing research on YouTube, but they do know that they tend to spend a little too much time once they get on YouTube. We'll talk through how long we think they should be spending on it in a day, what's reasonable. We'll set Time Warp, and it will remind them when that time limit is up. So as an example, when that is active, if I attempt to go to Facebook, it is going to automatically redirect me to PBS. I'm just never going to see that. For some of our students also who maybe have a habit of logging in and immediately going certain places, this can also provide, again, kind of that stop. Sometimes all of us have habits on the computer of when we log in immediately where we go. This can help break some of those habits. Again, all you need to do though to turn it off is click on it. A couple more extensions here quickly is Tab Cloud. Tab Cloud will help keep track of any of the tabs that you currently have open. So for example, if I have a group of tabs that I'm looking at that all have to do with gamified content, I went ahead and clicked Tab Snooze and Tab Cloud, and I hit the plus. That saves the group of tabs. So here, if I wanted to save this group, I could click the save window and I can click here to name it. And now those tabs will all stay kind of linked together here in my Tab Cloud. When I get to class or I want to work on this again, I simply can push the plus and it will open up a window with all of those tabs all at once. For our students who struggle with organization and memory, this can be super helpful because you can set up tab clouds for English class, math class, science class. And when they get to that class, they can just go ahead and click the plus and all of their tabs will open all at once. This is also beneficial if a student's working on a project maybe and they found a whole bunch of sites that are going to be helpful with that project. You can help them group them together and then open them all at one time. Extensity. If you are like me and you like trying out a lot of extensions, or you have a student who's using a lot of extensions for different things, they can begin to slow down your browser. Extensity allows you to turn on and off extensions with a simple click. If you look at my list of extensions, and again, I have a lot of them because I try out extensions all the time to see what's out there. If you have the extension grayed out, it's not currently active. If I click on it, it will turn it active. So this simply either makes the extension show up or go away. and it makes it a little bit easier for the browser to kind of function with extensions turned off that you're not currently using. We already talked about Move It, and it was available to us. It kind of showed us what it did. And we're going to look at these last few. So my homework reminder. This is for students who just need a built-in, very simple homework tool, tracking tool right on their screen. So there are definitely tons of paper planners and digital planners and calendars out there that work phenomenally. But for some students, it's more than what they necessarily need, or it's a bit of a distraction. My homework reminder is a simple extension that when you click on it, allows you to see what assignments you have coming up when they are due. It will turn red if it is past due, and add new assignments. Write paper for science, and I'm going to say that it is due next week, Wednesday. Click save. Now it just adds to my list. So it's very easy for a student to keep track of what it is they need to get done and when it is due and when it is finished without going out to a different window, a different browser tab, a different device. It's right here in Chrome. So if you have a student who's a very heavy Chrome user and just needs kind of that organizational tool built right in, my homework reminder is a great one for that. Google Keep is another phenomenal tool. Google Keep will save web pages directly to Google Keep for you, where you can organize them. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on Google Keep simply because Google Keep could be a whole training in and of itself. Just kind of know that it works really well for executive functioning for students who need help with that organization, especially in a digital world. Noisely, again, is one of those tools that helps with attention. Noisely is a tool that allows you to create custom background noises. And I'm going to go here and kind of look for Noisely. When I click on Noisely, it is going to have me, I guess, log in. I must have jumped out of that one for some reason. I was just using it the other day. Okay, so what Noisely does when you click on it is it allows you to create custom background noises. Now, if you want to save these for a later time, or if you would like to, use more in-depth version of these, there is a paid version. However, the free version will allow you to pick different sounds to create a background set of noise that works well for you. So instead of listening to music or videos or things like that, you can go ahead and click on rain and it will play the rain for you. And maybe you want to add some train tracks in the background. And if that is a noise that works really well for you, you can also go ahead and set a time that you would like that to play for. And for that long, the sound will play. You can go ahead and adjust these. There's a whole bunch of different ones on here in the free, obviously more in the pro for the paid version, but it really helps students find background noises that help them focus in your classroom. Momentum is going to be another one of those tools for organization and for memory. What Momentum does when it is installed as a Chrome extension, it changes so that every time you open a new tab, and I have Wakelet taking over for it, so we're going to go directly here, it will give you a new window. So when you open a tab, it will come up with this. It really helps for centering. It's going to tell you the time, whether it's morning or afternoon. It's going to ask you to write in what your main focus is for the day so that you have kind of that intentional start to your day. It also will allow you to save links that you want to keep track of right here. It will give you a way to search Google. It will give you a quote at the bottom and also a to-do list for the day. Now you can go ahead and click the settings button down here on the left, and that will actually allow you to customize this, change things, but it really helps kind of giving that landing page for students who struggle with memory or organization. It will really help them come up with, what is it that they need to focus on or accomplish for the day. And the last one today is going to be Clockify. Clockify is a timer that's going to show students the passage of time and how long they're taking on each task. When you open Clockify, it is actually going to give you a place to write down what you're working on. So, science project. And it is going to start a timer then for how long you are working on that. For some of our students who need to see the passage of time, it's really helpful for them to keep track, even for a day or two, of what it is they're doing when they're on the computer. And it kind of does help students then figure out what it is they're spending time on. Are they spending more time on fun things? Are they spending more time on science? Where is it that their time and energy on the computer is being spent? So these are all tools and Chrome extensions that will help students with executive functioning. There's many more out there. As always, I can't cover them all. But there are, this should be a really good base to start with some tools for students who struggle with memory and organization, time management, attention. If you have any questions or you have a recommendation of a really awesome app or extension that I have missed, definitely feel free to reach out to me. My email and my Twitter handle are both here on the screen, and I look forward to hearing from any of you that do have any questions. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you and presenting again on further videos.
Thank you for watching. For more information on the ATP Education Program, please visit our website at atp.nebraska.gov/education or email us at atp.education@nebraska.gov.